So one of the things that I think would be really helpful for people is what is some of kind of like the stuff along your journey that kind of came up for you, and how did you overcome it?
Oh, let's see, where should we start? I don't have a mic.
Does anyone else have stuff, or is it just, yeah, okay, yeah. It happens. Stuff happens.
It does. I found myself feeling like I had one foot on the shore and one foot on the boat, and the boat was taking off. Not comfortable. And so I had to work through a lot of that. There was a lot of wanting to go back to my old business, go to what was comfortable for me. And here's the interesting thing that happened. What used to work for me, and I could close business like crazy in the old company, I wasn't able to do it. And of course, it's all, my whole energy, where I'm focused, where I'm really being called to go. And I finally realized I've got to put the other foot in the boat. And remember, I know how to swim. And so I did. And when I did that.
When you jumped?
When I jumped, you're right.
Did you just get that?
I did.
Okay, yeah. You jumped. Yeah.
Yes.
When you jumped.
That was when everything started to move forward. Mm-hmm. And I still have my ups and downs, like, oh my God, this next thing that I'm about to do, and can I really do this, and am I up to it? But I know who I can tap into.
Yeah.
And it is a matter of remembering that. Mm-hmm. And so that's been probably my biggest struggle over this year, is that not wanting to let go.
Yeah. That's something that you consistently face. Do all of you consistently face that? I do myself. Every time that I'm going to, just even like letting go of this event, when it's done, it's like, are you kidding me? I mean, she had to practically rip it from my hands. It's like, what? And then I was able to get centered. But it's that the constant leaping to the next level, being ready to go where you're not comfortable, you're not sure, and having faith that that net will appear. Mm-hmm. That's a big one. Erin, what about you?
As previously mentioned, I had a lot of stuff. A year ago, I didn't want to talk about my business. I didn't want people to hire me. I didn't want to do anything. I was going to go get a job. It sounded really nice. And at our first mastermind event, I was at this event, sitting there going, I think I just need a platform and then it'll probably be okay. At our first mastermind event, I had a total breakdown. It was awesome. And there was a whole lot of stuff, but I got through it. Mm-hmm. And once I found the platform, and once I found my thing, with Kelly's help, which was, I wouldn't have it otherwise. I wouldn't have the platform. But once I found it, it was just so clear, and I could move forward quickly.
You have. She really has sailed. I mean, once she got that clarity, I mean, again, not to harp on Trey's favorite word, clarity, but, it's once she had that clarity, it was like off like a rocket. She just whoosh, went.
Yeah. Yeah, and made all the difference.
Yeah. What about you, Linda?
Mine was guilt. Anybody ever have guilt? I have a Jewish mother, okay? I majored in that growing up. I was guilty over taking people's money. And I didn't realize it until I just read Dan Kennedy's book, No BS, Wealth Attraction for the New Economy. Rocked my world. I recommend it to everybody here because he talks about a story of a man who walks into a house to sell them a fire alarm system, and he sees the carpet is torn and the furniture has no cushions and the paint is peeling and the kids are wearing terrible clothes. And he feels so guilty that he doesn't sell them the fire alarm system. And then a week later, there is a fire in that house. And if he had sold them the system, I think everybody recovered, but they lost the house. There was no bodily injury. But it just really shifted my thinking, because I'm thinking, I'm giving somebody an opportunity to take advantage of a great service that I can offer them. And I am talking to one of my $10,000 clients on Monday.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
I think a lot of us have that in our heads, guilt about taking people's money. I really do, especially now because you hear so many stories about how hard it is and how people are struggling.
Interesting. Okay.
Can you also talk a little bit, when we started to implement a team for you, I know that was hard for you.
I was kicking and screaming. I am a control freak.
Her words, not mine.
My words and my husband's, okay? It was like I didn't think anybody could do it as well as me. And I think some things I do better, like selling and negotiating, but some things other people can do better than me. So, get over yourself. And I say that very kindly, like Beth said it to me. She said, believe me, you can let go of some of the control and some of this stuff. Is that what you were referring to?
Exactly. Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
I thought so.
I've got one. So I agree so far. Certainly with the net, you just have to be bold in life is all I can say. I've learned that lesson, I think. And also that what you need will appear when you need it. I'm still working on that one, but I've learned that one pretty big this summer as well. The money one as well, taking people's money is a big one for me. And I think the last thing is that in starting a new business and, being the product and the marketing and, everything all is, right here. There's so much all at once, and to figure out what to do first is so overwhelming. There's social media, and there's joint ventures, and there's, putting together your packet, and where do you go first? And it's really so overwhelming. And what I've learned is just to do one thing, whatever it is that's in front of you that you can start with, and just take small steps because you can't possibly do this all overnight. So
That's a good learning lesson. And there's always going to be more.
Right.
Just FYI, you're never done. You're just never done. There's always that next thing. There's always a next thing. Especially entrepreneurs, that's where we're wired. We're wired that way. Can you imagine how bored you would be if you were like, this is the program I'm going to teach until I die? Right? That's not how we're wired.
Well, I too have been leaping, and the net has been appearing all year long. It really does appear. It's quite amazing how that works. And I too have gone from just one VA to a team of, actually I've got a team of 5. I feel so proud. Wow. And you don't have to pay them the same each. You can have someone at 10, 13, 17, 35, 50 an hour. Yeah, it's really good. And I think the biggest thing I had to get over, this is a conversation with Kelly, was about having people connect to the pain of not having inner peace, what that meant in their life. And I heard an interesting statistic, that our brains can't hear even the benefits until it knows why it might need what you're offering. And so, Kelly, you had me reframe. I thought, I'm America's inner peace coach. I can't put people in pain. I can't connect people to the problem. I'm about,
I actually want to point out, if you don't mind me.
Yeah.
Do you mind me saying? Okay.
Yeah.
What do you hear? She even just said it. I don't want to put people in pain.
Right.
And my response to her was, honey, they're already in pain. But what they've done is they've dissociated themselves from it, and they just don't know why they're causing all of this chaos in their life or in their business, or why it's not going anywhere. When you start to reconnect them to that pain, all of a sudden that's where that motivation comes from, for them to say, I'm ready to be healthy. I'm ready to be successful. I'm ready to take control of my life. I'm ready to clean up, my past hurts and heal. That's when people really get into, that's just human nature. That's what we all do. It's not until we're in either such a place of pain that we're ready to do transformation work.
Yeah, and so creating the awareness of what's really already going on is a gift. Then it felt like in good integrity I could do that, and obviously the only way I can really help them is if then I get a chance to work with them and we get to clear that resistance out of their life and drop back into a greater sense of everyday inner peace. So
I want to notice something here, because I think this is actually pretty fascinating. We're at a marketing conference, but every single one of you listed mindset issues as your biggest challenge. Is that generally the case? For
except for the systems, we need those.
yeah.
Systems
Okay,
add to
interesting.
inner peace, like in a really huge way.
Just out of your curiosity, how many of you think that you have mindset stuff that might be standing in your way of achieving what it is that you desire? This is why we'll be talking about this on tomorrow morning. We'll also be talking about this at the bonus day as well, because this is often what I find in individuals that I'm working with, and myself included. This is why I'm working on some, bigger stuff with her, is because you got to get out of your own way. It's like the marketing is one thing, but if you're consistently sabotaging yourself in some way and you're not aware of it, it's like you need someone who can make you aware of it and then help you move through it to get to the other side, so that you can then make the progress and shoot forward. What would you say is the best, let's say, marketing and success tip that you've gotten? Especially for this market, especially for the affluent market, what do you think is the thing that made the biggest difference for you? Eve is all, we start down there.
I think the biggest thing is to understand that it's the opposite of what some people want to do. That they want to be competitive, they want to give a deal, they want to not ask for what you think that you're worth, or what your service is worth. And it's to really step into that and to own it and to claim it. And you have to claim it and know it in your being, and then stand in that space. And it's like someone I knew this year feeling like, well, the economy's bad. This person upped his prices, and it was worth it. And he's got business coming in, and it was a message to me. I get to ask for the prices that I am asking. I give great value. I get wonderful results. My clients get wonderful results. And this is not something that is an issue in an affluent market. So just claim what is yours, stand in your power, own who you are, the benefits that you can provide for those clients.
Yeah, just like claim it in your marketing, claim it in your sales conversations. Don't be apologetic about what you're charging. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't have to. Exactly.
Mine was to get really, really clear before moving, because otherwise you're just moving. You're just doing stuff and probably making kind of a mess. And the other thing which I learned from both Kelly and Beth is to let it be easy. Let it make sense. Whether that's in your marketing or in your processes, I know I have a tendency to make things really, really complicated. Nobody on the other end, no clients want to sit through the complicated. They want it to be easy.
I'd like to do two if I can. I'll do them quickly. At one of my conferences, one of my women's small business expos, we had Susan Wilson-Solovic, who founded SBTV, Small Business Television, and she wrote a book called The Girl's Guide to Running $1 Million Business. And the reason that most women don't run $1 million businesses outside of this room, we're special in this room, is because they don't think big enough. So it's really having the courage to think big enough, and it does take some guts. And then the second thing is that if people really see value in what you offer, they'll find the money. Haven't you found that? Haven't you found that? And a lot of the people that I sell high-end packages to aren't millionaires, but they find the money if they see the value. One lady said she was maxed out on her cards, and I just kind of did pro bono for her, and then she says, okay, now I found the money. I really want to take advantage of that program. And I was shocked, and then after that, I just never believed them when they said that they didn't have the money, because they can find it if they really want to.